Hey everyone, it's Luvstar. Welcome back to my art diary series. So I haven't done one of these episodes in a while. I think a lot of you guys will probably not even know what this series is. But basically what it is kind of just a little once in a while chat I like to have while I'm drawing something, and you get to watch kind of the speed paint of it. And I'll just talk about like whatever is going on currently with my, YouTube projects or art or whatever. And also answer a couple of your guys' questions at the end. And then at the end, you get to see the super quick version of the speed paint, so you can just see the whole drawing come to life really quick. And yeah, so it's basically just kind of chill chatting video. Nothing crazy for the most part. To start, I guess we can talk about what I'm drawing today. So today I'm drawing my character Cherry, and I haven't drawn Cherry in I think like 2 years digitally. I don't think I've drawn her since 2023. So this is, my first drawing of Cherry in a very long time. I've drawn her a couple times in my sketchbook, but that was also a very long time now. Finally drew my girl again. She's honestly a very, very old OC, and I've had her for a very long time. I guess I can tell you guys a little bit about her. She is very girly, party, fashionista, loves pink, and all that sort of stuff. She's like a very girly girl. She has a lot of ambitions, she's very energetic, full of life. She loves to party and hang out with her friends and, have sleepovers and like go out shopping and dressing up and hanging out with people and like starting little cat fights or whatever, just living her life. She also has, she's studying to become an architect, so she has school going on, and she has a lot of, good supportive people in her life, and she is involved with a gang. So she's kind of around some interesting people, but she's kind of like the glue that holds everyone together, I should say. I actually do have I have a page about her on my website that I'll link to you guys, but it doesn't have a backstory. It just has her like basic information, so I won't really tell you that much, but you'll definitely get to know her a little bit better if you do want to read that. But yeah, that's basically the gist of her. So this drawing, I wanted to draw her in her party environment, I really wanted to do something fun for Cherry because, I wanted to like put her in an environment that would accurately describe her as a character. So definitely went with the club scene. So I actually was inspired by this drawing, or I was inspired to do this like little pose and composition from this like Cyberpunk 2077 screenshot that I found on Pinterest of Judy. So I used it as a reference for the pose and like the angle and everything. So I thought that I would draw Cherry kind of like leaning on this little bar table and just looking all cute. So yeah, she actually has a new hairstyle. This is my first time drawing her new hair digitally. She actually got a side shave now, which is freaking awesome. I think she just like, she's kind of like grown as a character and as like a person to be like, she's in a more like strong and mature phase of her life now, where she has like, she's gone through a lot of things, and now she's finally able to kind of like come out of her shell a little bit and be more, strong and independent and like capable for herself to like fend for herself and to protect herself and to stay strong and also protect others. So I just see her like she's kind of grown up a little bit, and she's becoming a really like just an amazing woman, and like I'm just so proud of her. Because when I first made her, I was like, I must have been like 15 or something. I was like still a teenager. And back then Cherry was younger, so I aged up a lot of my characters. She's now I think 20, so she's my age. But yeah, she's definitely like just matured a lot as a character, as like we've both grown, which I think is quite interesting. I do feel like as time goes on, I age my characters up a little bit, at least some of them. And I try to give them like new life experiences, new growth as characters, which I think probably comes from me just growing up too, which is so cool. So I've had a lot of my characters for pretty long time now, like years. She's one of them, so I think this drawing kind of represents her growth, and I really love that. I think you know, you'll see it at the end how it kind of comes together, the whole environment, and I was really happy with how the lighting came out, and I don't know, it just turned out to be pretty cool. The one thing I didn't like about this drawing that much was that I kind of rushed through the small details and focused more on the big picture to make the whole composition look better, but I didn't really clean up the details or anything, so I feel like I could have done better on that, but it's okay. I've honestly been noticing a bit of a trend with my art lately that I've been kind of focusing more on just trying to draw with less attention to detail, and I don't think it's really like intentional. It's just kind of like the preferred method I have right now when I'm drawing is to not focus, like I don't really want to zoom in and start like messing with all the little tiny details anymore. It's just it feels so tedious to me. Like, I remember the last time I really did that was with my Vila illustration, and that took so much time. It was hurting my hand because of how many brush strokes I had to put, and it was just like, oh my gosh. I love putting a lot of detail into my artworks, but I feel like it takes so much extra time and effort and also like mental energy for me. So I feel like lately I've been kind of focusing less on that and just kind of trying to draw in a more like quick, I would say like messy and rough way, but I still want to make sure that the full picture, like when you look at the whole drawing, it looks good. So I think it's kind of like prioritizing composition, lighting, key visual elements, colors, shapes, design language, like all these sort of things. I prioritize them more than like small details. Which I do kind of wish I was focusing a bit more on them, because I feel like sometimes my art looks a little bit messy, but maybe that's just my style right now, and maybe that's just what I'm comfortable doing, and I think art is kind of a reflection of whatever we're kind of going through. Maybe this is just the phase I'm in right now, but honestly I'm having a lot of fun drawing this way, so I really shouldn't, you know, care too much about it. I'm having a good time. So yeah, I am excited for you guys to see the full illustration at the end, so please do let me know what you think. I also have a little blog post about this drawing on my website that I'll link out in the description in case you guys want to read about that a little bit more. And yeah, I've been really trying to, you know, prioritize my art this year. I want to draw more, as I said in a couple of my earlier videos, and I really want to just improve, and I just want to, you know, care and tend to my characters as well and not like leave them behind, because like for example Cherry I haven't drawn in so long and I just feel bad. I have so many characters that I don't draw enough, I feel. And meanwhile, where is she? Akane, she's like everywhere. She has like 2 posters and like one right there. Like, what the heck? I definitely have a little bit of favoritism with her, but I also okay, so today I actually finished another drawing, which I'll pop up on the screen for you guys. So this is of my character Sasha, and I love Sasha. Oh, speaking of which, he's actually Akane's girlfriend. So hold on, let me just pull it up. The funnest part about finishing drawings for me is being able to like open the document and just like stare at it and be like, wow, I really drew that. And then it wears off after a few days and you're like, well, I'm not good enough anymore and I have to draw again. So anyways, yes, I made this drawing of Sasha. Also, sorry if I'm looking this way. I'm looking at my drawing. It was honestly just a really quick sketch. I actually found this really beautiful picture of this person on Pinterest that I decided to kind of draw Sasha as. So yeah, it was like heavily inspired by this photo that I saw. Cause like, oh my god, the person is so pretty! And it just totally reminded me of Sasha, like the whole vibe. Honestly though, Sasha, like she in this drawing, I kind of gave her like a little bit of a new side to her. Like I feel like this drawing has kind of developed her as a character, which sometimes just happens spontaneously for me. Is like I'll just think about like, oh, I should have this as my new thing to add to my OC or something. Like I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. So basically, what I was thinking about this when I was drawing this, it might look really simple, like from the surface level. It's just her having a little smoke. Looking pretty cool, right? But when I was drawing it, I was actually kind of thinking about Sasha as a character and why she is like what she's thinking and what she's gone through to kind of lead her up to this point. Because honestly, Sasha, like she has always been one of my like stronger characters. She is definitely like a protector type, and she's very resilient, very strong. She works as a warden. So she has just a very kind of like tough, stoic exterior. I never really thought about it too much, but I feel like because of her line of work and like what she has to deal with on a daily basis, it probably kind of like probably affects her a lot. So I named this piece Erosion. I kind of saw it as her coping with her job, and she's like in this snowy, probably really brutal, cold environment, and she's kind of just looking for relief, and she's trying to keep up a strong exterior, but she's slowly feeling that sort of her walls are being broken down from just repetitive work and all the things she has to go through. So yeah, I kind of like developed her character a little bit while drawing this piece, even though it is very, very simple looking. But that's what I've been kind of trying to focus on, like when I'm making my art, even if you just look at the piece by itself without any context, it might just look like a cute little character looking all pretty or whatever, which for the most part is what I draw. But it's fun to draw like that. But I also want to tell a story, and I think the biggest way for me to do that is also to show the story through the artwork and make it like more clear as to the viewer, right? But yeah, I definitely want to focus on that this year, just like tell more stories, have more meaning behind the situations I put my characters in, and like try to tell a little bit more about them just through a visual perspective. So I don't always have to like explain everything. Like you can infer or you can guess, you know, something will pop up in your head, like what has this character gone through? What are they thinking? What is, you know, what's happening with them? So yeah, I guess, you know, if you were to analyze this drawing of Sasha, you would probably think like, okay, yeah, she's probably, you know, she looks pretty tough. She looks like she's going through something, even if you can't really see it like at a first glance. So anyways, yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to focus on this year, is just to have a little bit more intention and meaning with my art, because I feel like sometimes it's very hard to kind of, I think making those types of pieces where you really have like a proper intention or like a symbolism or, you know, anything like that, it's kind of hard to think about those things all the time. So for the most part, most of my pieces are pretty surface level. It's just kind of like my character, right, doing something or just kind of standing there looking pretty. But I also want to draw them with more like deeper, in a more deeper sense, if that makes sense. So yeah, hopefully this will be kind of like my little stepping stone into that, but we'll see how it goes. Anyways, as I also wanted to mention like one more thing as for like current projects or whatever, because this has been bothering me. So on my Minecraft channel, I have my Siren series going on, which is kind of like, it's a 100 days style let's play, but it also has a lot of like story and lore elements, which requires a lot of extra work for me. So I have to think of the story, write it, scenes in game, all just me, like one person, even though there's multiple characters and a lot of things going on. I have to build some of the sets and everything. So it's like a lot of extra work, honestly. Probably one of the hardest series I've ever made, just because of how much goes into it. And I feel very unmotivated right now with it. I really, really, really want to complete the series till the end. It's only 10 episodes, but every episode takes so much time, and not only time, but just a lot out of me, a lot like mentally and in terms of energy. And lately beforehand, I was really able to kind of just push myself through it and just sit down and make the episodes, even though it would take me a while, and it was still very like it depleted a lot of my energy. I feel like I would not be able to sit down and work on the series for a very long time. I would have to take a lot of breaks, and some days I would literally do like maybe 20-30 minutes of work, and then I'm just done for the day. Like I can't do anymore. I have to wait for the next day, right? So even from the start, I feel like I've been very like slow. But now lately I've been feeling so averse to even touching the series. I really, for the past few days, have been trying, like, I've been writing it on my to-do list. Work on the next episode, work on it. And I wrote down, like, a plan for what's gonna happen, but to sit down and record, I'm having a hard time with it, which really sucks. I feel like I'm kind of in this, like, a little bit of a burnout, maybe, I don't know. I feel so just bad about it. I feel like I really want to make it, but my brain is just not letting me. It's just it's just really frustrating. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna really try, like after this video, I'm gonna try to freaking open the game and just do like at least 5 minutes. I have to do at least 5 minutes. Like, it's just unbelievable. I can't believe how much I'm procrastinating right now. I've never been like this before. Regardless of how long it takes me, oh, for frick's sake, I'm gonna finish this series. Like, there's no way. I really poured my heart into writing the story for this series. I feel so deeply connected to what I've made so far, and you can, like, dude, this is the character from that series. I have her on my freaking wall because I've grown so attached to her and to the whole story and everything. It's really been such a great outlet of creativity for me because I'm able to work on so many different things. This is actually something I talked about. I've been exchanging some emails with, a viewer who reached out to me, and they were telling me about, they're a filmmaker, and we've been talking about films as an art form. And what I said was that, to me, films, when you make an illustration, you can tell a message or a story through a visual perspective, and when you write a song, you can tell a story and express yourself through audio form. Well, of course, there's also like lyrics, but it's just like one way to tell a story. But I think a film kind of combines everything into one. Like, you have visuals, you have music, you have writing, you have acting, you have all sorts of amazing works of art kind of like in one medium. And obviously I'm not comparing a Minecraft video to like actual film, but to me, like, making those videos have been kind of like a really well-rounded way to make art, because I get to kind of work on like audio production, voice acting, like building the sets, and just all these sort of things, like writing the story and everything. When I actually have the motivation, it's very fulfilling. But right now, gosh, it's not working for me. So yeah, hopefully I can just get my shit together. I don't know what's going on with me lately. I've been feeling so low energy, honestly, and I feel like this project has been most heavily affected because it takes the most out of me. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about that because it's been just making me really sad, but I know eventually it'll pass. I'm sure we all kind of go through just kind of these lower periods where we feel uninspired, unmotivated. I think it's normal for everyone, especially like artists. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to pull it together and just get it done. So yeah, the only thing is, of course, it's going to take me a while to get this next episode out. But I did say that I was going to be very flexible with my time schedule for this. So it's okay. You can't rush art, except for when you're doing commissions and you're on a deadline. Anyways, I guess that's all I really had to say in terms of my current projects and whatever's going on. So I will go ahead and answer you guys this question. I won't be able to answer all of them, of course, but let's see how many I can get through. Coral Sea Officials asks, why did you make this channel? So I made my second channel, aka Luvstar K2. I made this channel because I wanted to make videos outside of just Minecraft, as my main channel is strictly Minecraft. I wanted to have another outlet to kind of just express myself, and I really love talking about my art, I love talking about my interests, and I started this channel particularly just as an art channel. But I've expanded it now to be my art and IRL channel, which I think nowadays I kind of see this channel as just a way for you guys to connect with me as a person and with my interests outside of Minecraft. So yeah, it's pretty much just an extension to my main channel, just where you get to see different parts of me, different interests, different, I don't know, it's Luvstar K, but more. Sarah Not Sarah asks, what's your favorite show / anime, if you have one? Well, I'm not the biggest fan of anime. What's interesting is I've always found anime to be a very beautiful art form, but I've never been that into it myself. However, I do have a favorite anime, which is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because that's kind of like the one that I really enjoyed watching the most, and I also really enjoyed Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid because it was just such a cute, fun anime. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. There are a couple animes that I would like to watch in the future, but haven't gotten around to it yet. As for shows, I think my favorite show is probably Better Call Saul and Chuck. Oh, and Altered Carbon, definitely Altered Carbon. So like those three, I would say Altered Carbon is definitely my favorite just because I'm so biased for the cyberpunk theme, but I really enjoyed Better Call Saul and Chuck. Miscellanea asks, favorite memories so far as an artist / content creator? Well, I can definitely answer content creator really like off the top of my head, which is probably streaming. I've been really enjoying doing live streams on my Minecraft channel. It's been so much fun, and it's definitely created a lot of warm memories for me, not only because I get to like grow my audience in a new way, but also just interacting with my community through live streams has been it's just been wonderful. Like it's something that I really needed. Just having that sense of community and interaction and being able to connect with my audience and talking with everyone and just like hanging out. It's been so lovely. So definitely the live streams. As an artist, well, this is not like a specific memory, but I have a lot of nice memories of me just drawing while listening or watching really comforting YouTube videos in the background, which I really hang on to those moments like very fondly. I always kind of like mentally recognize when I'm having one of those moments where I'm really just enjoying myself because I'm watching something super like warm and comforting that makes me very happy, and I'm also drawing at the same time, and I have a lot of those like little memories, so probably those, but I'm sure there's something else I just can't think of. Gothic Mitama asks, what's the power of your glasses? So these are not prescription glasses, they're actually just blue light blocking glasses, and I wear them sometimes in my videos because I tend to record very late in the night. It's 10 p.m. right now, almost 11. So yeah, honestly, it's probably healthier for me to wear them all the time in my videos since I'm always recording like in front of a bunch of screens. But they cause a lot of glare, so I try to avoid them when I can, honestly. Dropped into Play TV asks, do you find yourself going back to old versions of Minecraft often? Will you do a retro let's play? I probably play 1.8.9 more than latest. Right now I'm giving 1.4.6 a try, and wow, it's very nostalgic. So I definitely do go to old versions a lot. I actually have a beta let's play that is like a members exclusive let's play on my Minecraft channel. I also have started playing Better Than Adventure as a members exclusive let's play. So basically like my members content lately has just been kind of like me playing older versions of Minecraft, particularly in like the beta era. I have a old school let's play which is from 1.12.2, but it's very like nostalgia themed, and in terms of just my own actual gameplay, I've like throughout time, since I actually started playing Java in like 2015, I've always been very fond of going back to older versions of Minecraft, especially like beta, like during release. 1.0 through 1.6 have been kind of like my golden spot for like release nostalgia. I also love beta, so yes, I definitely enjoy going to the older versions. As for like a retro let's play for my whole YouTube channel outside of just my members content, I would love to, honestly. I think that's probably something I would do in the future, just like go back to maybe like release, maybe around like 1.4. Honestly, I would do something like that. That'll be fun. Tarafel asks, favorite food from each of your ethnicities, nationalities? You get the idea. Also, do you celebrate Maslenica? I had to re-record that because I mispronounced it. Whoops. I don't celebrate Maslenica. I don't even know if my family does, like in Russia. I have never like even heard about this festival before. I had to look it up, but I'll probably ask about that, honestly, because it looks like so much fun. I kind of wish I did. My favorite food from each of my ethnicities / nationalities, and I'm gonna include America here, I guess, even though it's not my nationality technically. But okay, so from Sweden, I haven't even tried that many like proper Swedish dishes, but I love Swedish meatballs. I love making them at home, so definitely that. Also, Swedish pancakes are amazing, and I've also made this really yummy like Swedish pancake cake, which is so good. It's like pancake layers, like giant thin pancakes, and each layer is like bananas and strawberries like cut up into little pieces, and I think it's like with sour cream or something. It's so freaking good. Oh my god. Oh no, it's like lingonberry jam. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. From Russia, probably pelmeni. Oh my god, I love making pelmeni even though they take forever, but they are just so bland and comforting. I don't know how else to describe it. They taste so good. I also make those at home a lot. And the last one from Cuba is lechon asado, which is this amazing dish. Oh my gosh, I've not had it in so long, but it's like with pulled pork, yuca and plantains and like a really nice like sauce. I think there's also like rice and beans. It's a lot. It's so much, like so many different things. It's such a rich meal with so many like little things going on, and I love it. It's so good. So yeah, those are my favorites from, oh, in America. Oh, oops. You know what? I'm a big fan of burgers. Does that even come from America? Probably, right? I would say burgers is definitely an American food, but yeah, I love burgers. Oh, I'm a big fan of Texas brisket back when I lived in Texas. It was pretty good. Just a good old burger, you know? I love burgers. Bookish Blossoms asks, what was the most difficult part of making your website? That's a hard question because there's so many difficult parts about making websites. It's such a tedious, frustrating journey all the way around. I can't even remember what the hardest part is, but one of the hardest I would say is probably when I was redesigning my layout to make it that more like old school style that I have now with that like 3 grid system. That was really hard because I use Elementor as my like site builder, whatever it's called, and doing that through Elementor was a freaking pain in the ass. It was a lot of work. I had a bunch of issues with like the CSS and it was a mess. It was a freaking mess. But I think also just setting up the initial functionalities of your website is also really difficult, making everything kind of functional from a very like basic level, just getting like all the different parts of your website working. That is also really difficult. That was like way in the beginning. I spent so many, like I was like locked in just hours on end, hours working on my website until very late into the night because it was so much work. Cyborg asks, who's your favorite cyberpunk character? Oh gosh, it's Jackie Wells. I love Jackie so much. Ever since I first started playing Cyberpunk, I always like, dude, I just fell in love with him as a character. He is just such a sweetheart, and I can't even describe to you guys how badly I sobbed. I'll just leave it at that. So definitely Jackie. He's my all-time favorite. I also really grew attached to Johnny as well. That little asshole. Also, oh, you know what? From the Phantom Liberty DLC or expansion, Solomon Reed, gosh, he is a very compelling character. I also found myself very attached to him. I like, you know, I really wanted to side with him and everything. I really wanted to just be by his side. So I definitely like grew attached to Solomon Reed as well. So probably those 3 characters are my favorite. Jackie's like my all-time favorite just because I have like he's just a very awesome character that I initially grew very attached to. Why are there no girls in this? I need to think of some favorite girl characters, but those are my 3 that I can think of. Born Cryptic asks, how has the flip phone life been treating you? Also, what model do you use? You know what's ironic? I'm reading these on my iPhone. But my flip phone... Okay, so I think by the time this video comes out, my flip phone review video has already been out, but I love it so much. I really do. I really love the flip phone life. And this is the Kyocera 902KC. Which, of course, if you want to know more about this phone, definitely go check out the review video I made. But yeah, I really enjoy it, honestly. Also, before you say anything, yes, I'm using my iPhone to read the comments because I don't want to look at my second monitor like this while I'm reading all the comments. So I basically have delegated my iPhone as kind of like a mini iPad that is literally just used for like utility niche purposes at this point. I also talk about that a little bit more in the review video, like how I use my iPhone. Anyways, Ganymede asks, what rank are you in Overwatch? I'm Plat. I'm currently like high Plat. I've reached like Plat 1 and then I kind of dropped to like Plat 3. Now I'm kind of like climbing back. So I've been like kind of around mid to high Plat. I've reached Diamond once in Overwatch 1, but that was so long ago now. So I pretty much am Plat. I don't know if I'll ever make it to Diamond at this point. What device do you use for digital art? Wacom or another brand? Display or drawing tablet? So yes, I do use a Wacom, and I don't use a display tablet, I just use a regular drawing tablet, and it's the Wacom Intuos Pro Medium. That's what I've been using since the beginning of my digital art journey, so that tablet has fared me very well for a very long time. Chu asks, what would your fursona look if you had one? Very interesting question. I've always wanted to make a fursona just for funsies, and I actually have drawn like a little sketch of me as like a hypothetical fursona, but I would probably change it if I were to draw myself now. But I'd definitely be a cat, and like maybe like a gray cat with like stripes or something, maybe like a gray tabby cat. I'd probably just look like a gray emo purple haired tabby cat. Jasmina Yes asks, where are you from? I'm from Sweden. And Jasmina also asks, how did you learn drawing? I honestly learned drawing through a lot of copying. When I first started drawing, I would copy a lot of art and just artists that I really looked up to. And I mean like full ass copying, like just literally just replicating their work to the best of my abilities. And I was doing a lot of just like intaking a lot of art and trying to learn from other artists until I can actually kind of draw for myself. Looking at a lot of references, looking at a lot of different artists and their work, and just seeing what really resonates with me as an artist, and trying to learn, practice as much as I can, you know, pick up a lot of the fundamentals from like YouTube videos or like art books, or, you know, whatever sort of information you can find. There's so many different ways to learn art nowadays, but I definitely learned a lot through just kind of referencing other artists and just pictures and all sorts of things that I found on the internet. So yeah, I have no formal training in art. It's been a lot of just casual practice, you know. I haven't really sat down in a very long time to just properly study and really make an effort to like improve and learn new things in a very long time. But you know, you still learn just from casual practice. Cats and Hats as Crouching Tiger asks, when you dye your hair purple, I'm gonna stop you right there. I do not dye my hair purple. I was born with purple hair naturally. I'm just kidding. It's actually a wig, so I do not dye it, but I get this question a lot. But yeah, it's a wig, guys. It's not my real hair. My real hair looks a lot like this hairstyle. I just don't have it dyed because reasons. I do plan on dyeing my natural hair soon, so you'll see it when it's dyed, because I just want to have like the purple look, you know, for my videos. I'm thinking about trying a new wig out pretty soon, and I'm gonna try to like custom dye it, so it's gonna be purple but like a little bit different. Anyways, well, this is side tangent. But yeah, I'm sorry that I couldn't give you any advice on dyeing. I have literally no idea. Vanichi asks, is there anything Minecraft related that you've always wanted to try but haven't? If so, what is it and what stopped you? Also, what motivates or inspires you to continue making videos and YouTube stuff? Well, there is one thing that I've always really wanted to do, and I have kind of attempted this very long time ago, probably back in like 2017 or something like that, 2018, but I've always wanted to kind of make a recreation of my character's universe in Minecraft. And back when my OC universe was in its very early stages, where it was a lot more simple and less complex, I actually did have a recreation of like one of the cities in a Minecraft creative server that I would roleplay on with my friends. And I built a lot of things. I built like it was like a whole ass city there. It was a lot of things. A lot of my characters' homes were there, where they studied, where they worked, different like lore things and magic stuff, fantasy stuff, sci-fi stuff. But that was, that server is long gone now, and I've tried to redo this project on my own creative world a couple of times, and each time I just kind of lost motivation for it, because it is honestly the hugest freaking scaled project I would have ever tried to attempt, and there's just no way I could do that now. I would not have the time. Probably not even the motivation to do it, because it's just too much work. But yeah, I would have loved to do a recreation of my OC universe. I think that'd be so freaking awesome. But it would probably take a whole ass team to build something like that. I don't think I'll ever attempt that, honestly. There's just like, I wouldn't have the time. That's probably the main thing stopping me. What motivates me to continue making videos? Honestly, just my love for it. Like I really do love making my Minecraft videos. I love making my, videos on this channel, just about like whatever kind of interests me. My art, of course. I'm super passionate about just a lot of these interests, and that's what keeps me going, is just being able to express myself and have like that outlet of creativity through my YouTube videos, and being able to talk through, like, even if it's just to a camera, being able to talk with you guys and build a community has been so helpful for me on so many levels. So I feel like that also motivates me, just that community aspect, being able to talk with you guys, have your guys' support. It really does mean the world to me. It really does keep me going. And probably those two things, my genuine passion for what I make videos about, and also you guys. I'm the Flu asks, who are your favorite YouTubers? Do you have any recommendations for learning how to make websites? I'm also very curious about your camera model because I've been wanting one. Okay, so my favorite YouTubers, my all-time favorite YouTubers, I has Cupquake. I also really love Captain Sparkles. They're all just Minecraft YouTubers. I think one of my favorite art YouTubers is Cynic's Design. I love his art, and I also love his like educational videos, and also his personality. I think he's a really great YouTuber, so probably those three, I'd say. But I'm probably missing someone, honestly. Do you have any recommendations for learning how to make websites? I don't really. I would say probably my recommendation would be to find like an online course or something that can teach you the basics, because I didn't really, like, I had help from someone that I knew in real life to help me get through the basics. When I was having trouble with something, I was able to go to them for help. I kind of had like an easier path to learning, but still, like, I had to Google so many things. I honestly would just recommend like finding some sort of online free course that can teach you the basics, depending on like what route you want to take, whether you want to code it all by hand or if you want to use like a site builder or something. Yeah, just look for help online. Definitely, like, don't try to do everything blind. I'm not a programmer or anything. I'm just like a newbie. So I'm not really the right person to go to for like proper website advice. I do try to share as much as I do know. In terms of learning how to make your own website, definitely don't ask me because I'm not an expert. And lastly, my camera model is the Sony ZV-1F in the color white. Ghostly Choco asks, what's your favorite step in the art process? Okay, so for me, it's definitely kind of near the end when I'm already done laying down my basic colors and I actually start to kind of render the piece. That includes like doing the lighting effects, and also I do a lot of like overlay effects, and I try to play with like photo bashing and trying to like put on different overlays and textures and like colors, and just, it's the part of my process where I start to be really playful and just experimental, and that's honestly how I've been able to kind of like learn a lot of new things and see what I like with my art and like try a lot of new things out. So yeah, kind of like that final process where I start rendering and painting over my whole drawing, and it's the most like freeing part of the whole process for me, where I don't have to worry about layers or the sketch or the line art or anything. It's like super freehand, so I really enjoy that part. It just feels like painting, like just laying on the paint and not worrying about any of the technicalities and just having fun and experimenting. So yeah, like the end rendering process. Okay, and the final question is gonna be from Ethan, who has quite a few questions that are very deep. So I'm gonna try my best to answer them. When you write and draw about your OCs and their world, what themes and feelings influence your lore the most? This had to make me think, because honestly, I didn't really know. But from thinking about it for a bit, I think probably how the actual world that they live in and their environment and life experiences, how it affects each of my OCs. A lot of my characters live in different themes. For example, some of my characters are very influenced by a more cyberpunk themed story, like the dystopia, corporate corruption, high tech, low life, all those sort of themes that involve cyberpunk literature and media. they really influence a lot of my characters. Some of my characters are more influenced by fantasy elements and how their upbringing affects them. Cherry is one of them who has gone through just a lot of hardships in life, and it really has changed her as a person, and it affects her on a daily basis. I have a lot of characters who just are shaped a lot by their environment, and I like to explore how that kind of influences them even in the present. What aspects of their life do I like to explore? Probably, I would say like their internal experiences and emotions, and also how they interact with other characters and their environment. So I don't know, I really like to, when I draw, like kind of express a bigger picture and make them feel like they are like living in the world. Like for example, my Sasha drawing that I was talking about, even if you can't see it from the drawing, you can still feel like she is being affected by exterior forces like her job and her environment and the pressure that she goes through on a daily basis and how that changes her and affects her. That's something I really like to explore, honestly. And lastly, if and when you could, would you rather make a book series, animated series / movie, or open world game out of it? It's honestly so incredible. Thank you so much. I would probably, this is hard, I would say like either a series or a game. Maybe a game would be fun. I've never really thought about that. A lot of people have always told me like you should make an anime, which would be freaking awesome. But I think also maybe making some sort of game, maybe like an open world RPG would be really cool, where you can actually like make your own character that lives in the Ashtraverse, my OC universe. That would be really awesome. And just explore the different themes, and you can kind of maybe like choose what part of the universe you are being affected by. So yeah, I would say probably like a game or just like an anime or something. That would be awesome. That would be like a dream come true, honestly. It's one of those dreams that I would never properly pursue because it's just so out there for me, but it would be really freaking cool to see that one day. But anyways, that is going to be all the questions for today. That was probably very long. I tried to get through as many questions as I could. I tend to just talk a lot through them. But I hope you guys enjoyed just listening to me discuss all these sort of things. I hope you learned something new, or I could have helped you in some way, or at least just keep you company while you're doing whatever you're doing. And the speed paint should be pretty much done right about now, so I hope you guys enjoy the final results. Of course, stick around till the very end to see the 1 minute speed paint. But yeah, again, I'm really happy with how this drawing turned out, and do let me know if you want to see more of these episodes. I try not to make them so often this series because I don't want to always be asking for questions. I think it could get a little bit like tiring at some point. But I think every like couple months it would be good to just kind of catch up with you guys and see what you have to ask and answer some questions. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go try to sit down for 5 minutes at least and record some of my Siren episode. So wish me luck, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you all next time. Bye!